Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of a run through. Today we're taking a look at Hotshot Racing. This is available on, I think, everything. It also had a label that it was on Xbox Game Pass, but it hasn't shown up on there yet. So maybe tomorrow, I imagine they might be giving it a day to actually make some sales, and then they'll plop it on there. I don't quite know. It seemed like, I don't know, because Disgaea 4 showed up on there this morning, so that one came out today as well. But at any rate, this is the way it's labeled as arcade racing perfection, and I will say, starting from the top here, I disagree. I will sort of explain why that is. I'm gonna jump into the normal mode. I played a few races on the expert, and it's nearly impossible, at least as it sits. And again, I'm always open to just being bad at a game. But I play a lot of racing games in general, and this one just doesn't feel very good. You'll see too, like, there's 4 cars per person, and they're all kind of just done in this like speed, acceleration, drift. The only upgrades to a car are going to be like skins, and then like a few cosmetic things. Nothing that affects performance or anything like that. There's also there's a lot of stuff for the inside though. I'll show you the cockpit view, but you can't really see any of this stuff, or at least like the steering wheel you can't see, and then the dashboard you might be able to, if I can't really remember, but it doesn't matter all that much. These are so there's like, I would say there's one car, like I guess I can show you from here. It's a little easier in the other versions. But yeah, I mean, that's like the exact same car. There's the one that I've picked, and then a lot of these vary in a very similar fashion. I'm just going to go with this one because I've been using it, so I'm familiar with it. But you have automatic or manual. I usually choose automatic just because it's a semi-fast-paced game. I'll show you what I mean though. So there is a boost if you get it in this yellow slot here. You'll boost from the beginning. There's a drift, which is the way that you'll gain boost, and it's the only way that you'll gain boost. There is some pretty severe rubber banding with the AI though. Like I said, this is on normal. You're gonna notice them stay with me pretty much the entire time, and at some point they're gonna just start bumping into me like crazy. And that's just by virtue of the game. Obviously, once you use a boost, see, like, here we go. The only way to get boost is by the drift, so that'll slow you down a little bit anyway. But I'll boost here, and then in a matter of seconds, I'm sure these cars will catch right back up to me. It's severe, the rubber banding on these enemies and or competitors, I guess. And then when you get to the harder difficulties, it's even more egregious. Like, if you even catch up to them in that, at that point, they're just going to bump into you all over the place. And they seem to have better vehicles than you will get at that point as well. Like, because I don't think there's any vehicle unlocks or anything like that. I'd say the thing that bothers me the most with this game is, like, in a lot of racing games, like even in Mario Kart and stuff, like when you're doing really well, you'll be out in front of people for a long time. I've never felt that in this game. Like, there was an achievement for finishing a second in front of another car, and that's only because I think I boosted at the very, very end, like right before I got to the finish line. I'll show you too, like, once I get this 4th boost, I'll boost 4 times in a row, just so you can see, like, that should, you would think, put me very far in front of these other people, and they'll still be right behind me. So it doesn't seem like the boost does anything, or just the rubber banding is so severe. Like, there's one. There's a second. We'll do a 3rd here. And then there's a 4th one. And they're right there. So it's like nothing even happened, to be completely honest. And then now we're already back. So it's like there's no and now we're at the finish line. So luckily I won that one. But I would say, generally speaking, the way to win this game, I found, is to keep at least 1 boost, because towards the very end of the finish line, they'll come like right back at you. So you'll have to pretty much boost right around him, otherwise you'll just lose. Like, or or they'll bump you a ton at the end, and you'll lose there as well. Like I said, this is the normal difficulty. So the normal difficulty, they're completely riding you at all times. Obviously, this car doesn't have the highest speed available, but as you can see, saving up boosts for an entire lap and then burning them all at once in a continual succession netted me nothing. So yeah, it just seems like it's very unfairly placed. As you can see too, they bump into you like crazy. Like, I think the idea is meant to keep the action at all times, but it really just makes the experience super frustrating. By virtue of the only unlocks I've seen are just all cosmetic stuff, so the cars don't get any better at any point. You're stuck with all the ones you've had from the beginning, which is hit or miss, I guess. There is 4-player online. There is online. I mean, rather, there's 4-player co-op, split screen, and some other stuff like that. And that may be more fun if you're playing with people that aren't like immediately the best, no matter what you're doing. But yeah, it's just a middling experience at best, and it's pretty much it's kind of a letdown overall, because like in general, we don't get a ton of racing. I mean, we get racing games fairly often, but we don't get a ton of arcade racing games, and they're all kind of bad. Like it's all weird. They're always trying to like capture this like arcade style feel, but they never do it. Like Burnout is still, I think, the best example, and there's some rubber banding in that game for sure, but it's nowhere near as egregious, and it's just, it sucks. I would say I'll look up the name of it. There is one game that I'll suggest playing instead of this that came out a few years ago, or last year maybe. It's more similar to the style of like Outrun, but it is a much better game in this kind of aesthetic. I will say I like the level looks. The tracks aren't very difficult. They don't really add a ton of variety other than just pure aesthetic. It's kind of a lot of the same sort of structure. It seems like they got the announcer from Sonic All-Stars Racing, or they ripped those sound bites right out of that game. I'm not totally sure. I would imagine they didn't just steal that stuff, but it is very similar. It's a little bit pitched a little different, so maybe maybe it's not the same, but it sounds really similar. And I'll finish out this cup, and I'll go through a few more menus, and then I'll kind of call it there. See, this feels like the best I've ever done here as far as distance from the other competitors. And I feel like at some point I'm just gonna, like, probably there. Now that I bumped that wall, that's probably it. Yep, there we go. See? It's like, where were these guys at any other point? I was so far ahead of them. And now they're all just here. Obviously, I'm not doing the best job on this track either, but still, I mean, that first clip, you could see it. I'll try and do an expert race too, and just to show you the difference, because it's basically this exact same thing. They're just always ahead of you. It sort of is like normal. They'll probably be behind you most of the time, but they're still going to come up on you. Hard, I guess, they'll probably stay right with you, and then expert, they're going to probably just be in front of you the whole time. So but I imagine it's going to play out exactly the same. And it's not to say there's not fun to be had here. I guess it's just like it doesn't feel totally bad. You have to be very gentle on the drift thing, though. It's like, see, like what? But even now, like they based on how they just spun me out and the time distance, they should be way ahead of me also. But they're not. They're just here. So it's. It seems so geared towards just making you feel like you're always in an intense race, but I always found the joy in racing games is like burning past everyone, getting in front, and then just the racing part of the game should be the fun part, not so much getting knocked around by just the other competitors continually. Like usually it's like At a point, most racing games, once you're in first, it becomes a time trial. It's like, how well can I do this course? Whereas here, it's just, you know, getting hit and knocked around and kind of waiting for it to end. And that sucks. It doesn't make a good racing game. Because even in arcade games, I'm thinking like San Francisco Rush and like what was the other one? There's a big one that we used to play, Cruising Exotica. I guess that was another one that I would play in arcades all the time. Even then, like you could do pretty well at those and, you know, not feel like you're just getting continually overtaken or burned. No, it's just weird. It's strange because it's like you'd think we've had racing games for so many years and arcade games and arcade racers, and I mean every major console gets a racing game like pretty much on launch just to show off, you know, graphical fidelity or whatever. So it's like we're not unfamiliar with the genre. We're maybe too familiar with it. And I think that's a thing. It's the same thing as like we don't get kart racers are really fun, but we get so few of them. It's like Mario Kart, and on the PC you have Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed, which I would say is still the best that we have. And you know, like F1 Track Stars, I think it was, or something like that, was like kind of a kart racer. And there's no one that even really attempts it, and it's really odd. I just don't know why, because it's not like I wish we would get Crash Team Racing on here, because maybe that would be. I mean, I know kart races and arcade races are not the same, but they're similar enough. And generally speaking, more fun, just because the drifting makes more sense. Like the drifting doesn't really feel good in this game, as well as like the sense of speed is pretty decent. Oh, that's right. I'll show you the. Yeah, so here's the inside the car. But like I said, you can buy like a thing for the like a dash dongle deal and then a new wheel, but you're never gonna see the wheel. I just looked down and that wasn't there. You don't even see the dash, so buying a new dash doesn't make any sense either, really. You can kind of see that thing dangle every so often. And maybe they intend you to play it in first person so that you don't necessarily notice when the other competitors are right there. See, and I'm gonna lose this one unless there's another. I don't know how much longer. Well, we've got this is the last straightaway. I'm gonna get out of here. I generally play racing games, to be honest, in first person, and even Grand Theft Auto, which I know is like kind of crazy, but I drive in first person in that game. But yeah, it's just. And then you get an end screen here. It just feels very like hobbled together, I guess, maybe more than anything. But yeah, that's all those. I'll go into the single races just so we don't have to lose a few modes. This one's effectively it's like speed. So basically, if you're going under a certain limit, your car will start to take damage, and then you'll eventually explode, and then it's like an elimination thing. But I still think it's only 3 laps. So if you don't finish, if you're still in a place either way. So if you're like in third and all the other cars blow up, you're still in third. Let's see. I guess we'll just do like a simple one. I'll do an arcade again, and then I'll do hard, or I guess I'll do expert to show you what that looks like. And then I'll see if there's. You get like color palettes, but you know, nothing really exciting. Like that green is kind of, but these are all just like variations of like red and blue and white, pretty much. So, and even these, it's like kind of the same thing. Like this one right here has the most variation, it looks like, but that's a nice color. I mean, I'm just partial to that, I guess. Yeah, so we'll just get into this. But yeah, it's a really middling experience. And like when it's on Game Pass, like I'll probably finish it there. I definitely don't think I'm gonna keep the Steam version of it because it's. I already messed up there. I missed the boost. Yeah, because it's $15.99 now on its outset, and then it's $20 normally. And I just think that's too expensive for what's being offered here. Also, the performance has not been. I might lose out already before we even start this thing. Yeah, just for what's on offer, and just the amount of fun I'm having with it. I've also had some pretty wild performance issues in the beginning. Like even with VSync on or off, it was pretty bad. Like there was times where it would freeze completely, and I'm playing that on two identical monitors, same resolution, same refresh rate, 144 hertz, both with G-Sync. One's G-Sync enabled, one's G-Sync compatible, but they, performance in every other game, even like Horizon Zero Dawn, has been good on both. So, yeah, I've had some screen tearing issues. They're not so bad, I guess, now that I've restarted the game again. But the first two times I had it open, it was definitely not great. But yeah, look how far behind I am here. And granted, I didn't have the best start for sure, and maybe I'll start another one just to make sure. But how would I ever catch up to these guys? Like, what would I be doing differently? Because even now, like, after that first start was not great, but now that I've, like, gotten into the race, I haven't had any major kerfuffles or anything, and I am so far behind, I don't think I'll ever see them before this race is over. But, to give an example, this is what a race should feel like if I was in first in the other version, so... Oh, I got an achievement for doing so poorly. Let's retry. We'll do one more time, and then I'll probably call this video because this is the game. Soundtrack's pretty good, I'll say that. Like, music's been alright. Sound design is fine. It might as well be, guy. Me yelling the races no react, because it should be. Now that's the nail right there. Yeah, those two in front, I'll never see them. There's no way that I'll ever come near that. See, great job. Got one place ahead. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It's like, I guess I'll show one more. I'll do the cops for I haven't done this, so I don't know what exactly this is. I'll try with a different. Let me see if I can find one that's like more balanced, maybe. Well, that has less drift but better everything else. So we'll try that one. Maybe that'll give me a better indication. But is that the? That's not even the car I'm using. Why am I? Yeah, what in the world? That's not even this car. Why would I guess it doesn't know that I'm doing cops and robbers, I guess. Although I could have sworn I picked it after the fact. Well, maybe not. It's hard to remember now, but... This feels terrible. This doesn't feel fun at all. How? So is it do we just go until they all die? So there's no time limit. There's no lapse. What? Yeah, what is the fail state here? Are we turning them into cop? Is this like a zombies thing? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll say there's also, as far as I saw, there's no like tutorial to this either, so oh, it's just, okay, it was 3 laps. That was not fun at all. I gotta be honest, that was like really not an enjoyable experience. And I guess I'll see if there's any. Okay. Well, it seems like all these use that car. So I guess maybe that's the best car in the game. We'll try it, I guess. What do we got for options here? Okay. And it's like this stuff doesn't even really change it all that much. Like, so the unlock thing is... I mean, it seems like half-assed anyway, because like the amount of money I have already, I could probably upgrade every single car here with whatever, you know, aesthetic option I wanted. So that's, maybe it's just, you know, there's no real need for it. Again, that thing I'll never see, because I can't even see the top of the steering wheel or the dashboard, so that thing's never going to be present. Yeah, we'll okay, this will be the last thing I do, because we're running at half an hour almost, so. I feel super floaty, too. Oh, I know, that was bad. That was my fault. It just looks floaty. Like, look at this car. Like, look at the... Like, the wheels and everything. Like, this... They did not, like... Like, what am I... Look at that. I think maybe... I don't know. Like, again, I'm not enjoying this, but it's just not... It's really not a good racing game. Like, it doesn't feel like the loop up from like good to extreme is like so high. Oh no, because the ghost is faster, bud. And now it's just patronizing me, I guess. Now, I did see something just there, and I don't think that's how that is going to work. But I saw, like, as I was boosting it, if I kept holding it... No. So am I just going and going and going until it... Does this never end? Jesus Christ. Dude, the way this car maneuvers... Man. The sense of speed in this is pretty decent, but then the frame rate starts to get a little little off and kind of iffy. Oh, come on. And that one even just... Did I beat it? Either way, I'm done here. I don't want to keep doing that for another 12 minutes. Okay, well, guys, I think that's everything that there is to see here. I think this is a bad video game overall. I think... Yeah, I think if it comes out on Game Pass, which I'm pretty sure it said it was going to, then I would play it there. I don't think I would spend actual money for this game. It's just a middling experience at best. It doesn't feel very good overall. It's pretty floaty. The rubber banding is insane. And unless I'm just missing a major core mechanic that I'm just not seeing somewhere, then yeah. That's it, guys. If you do have Game Pass, maybe still just play Forza 4. It's a way better racing game, arcade style-ish. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching, and if you have any games to suggest me playing, as always, please leave it in the comments. Any other questions or anything else, you know where to put it. So thanks, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.